This Hard Knocks fight is an amateur bout in the 135-pound division.
You know that the first couple stung.
And he's already thinking about, again, rushing for the takedown. He's changing it up.
Tried the toss there, but was unable to do so. Now winds up on top. That wrestling background coming into play there, inside control now.
His bread and butter.
Looking now for the submission, looking for the rear naked choke. Burkhalter has Patino down, trying to get that hand around, couldn't quite secure it. Now just, again, abandoning it for the time being, trying to get a better position, and he may have it here. That's a rough one. That is in deep, attacking the hands, Greg Patino.
Doing a really good job.
Yeah,
again,
good job of
jumping on the cage. Yep. And then the cage is also, again, a hindrance of Isaiah's ability to actually get the choke. So if you're not going to be able to move, you might as well put him against the cage. This is what he doesn't want, being parallel to the cage.
So it's Burkhalter on the back of Greg Patino. He's got the one arm around the chin of Greg Patino, but Patino doing a good job of keeping his chin down, not allowing that choke to really sink in deep.
Oh.
And now a nice sweep there to end up on top.
Yep. Gray's had a lot of, he's been doing really well at just keeping control. He's losing some of the points, and now he's on top. Anything can happen in a fight.
Patino now on top, looking for some work of his own after having Isaiah Burkhalter on his back for quite a while. Now Burkhalter trying to slip out the back, and looking for almost an inverted triangle choke there.
And this is where you're going to see a lot of the difference in the amateur aspect, right? Because they're not going for hits, they're going for submissions.
Big punches now to the side after a slam. Still got just the one hand in there. Now he's slipped the other hand in. Some dangerous striking there from Isaiah Burkhalter, leaving himself open to an armbar. Again, trying to slam Patino down to the ground, and doing so again, trying to get him to loosen his grip on the arm. He does now, but again, just one arm in for Burkhalter, now trying to roll it over.
Isaiah's going to finish on top.
Short time and big knees from Burkhalter to end the round. Not the check that you typically see.
The death by 1,000 cuts, right?
Burkhalter trying to fire in, and the leg kick stopping the explosiveness of the takedown attempt. Now has him up against the cage.
At this point, Patino has to be in the lead for this round. But it'll be interesting to see if Isaiah is able to take him down and bring him where he wants to.
Well, it's always interesting to see which judge values which, what structure, because some judges, because of the subjective nature of MMA judging, some guys are going to say, well, striking is more important than takedowns because any strike could end any fight, whereas a takedown can't necessarily end a fight. Other guys are going to value takedowns because, of course, it shows that you're controlling the cage and you're dominating position, and that's more valuable than landing a single punch. So it's very interesting to see kind of what judges value. So you need to be able to win all aspects of your fight at all times. And so far, Isaiah Burkhalter looking to finish this one off. He has a guillotine win, and now pulling guard
Patino needs to put his head out and get away from there. Get away from the cage and put his head out. He's doing a good job at that.
Now, Patino not going to the ground there is something we don't see that often. I've almost never seen a guy who pulls guard in an MMA fight in Hard Knocks and ends up working out for him. But Isaiah Burkhalter, the thought behind the idea that you've just spent 6 to 9 minutes, 10 minutes beating the crap out of one another, and the first thing you do is effectively shake hands when you get to the center of the cage.
And don't forget afterwards, I have always hugged or high-fived someone afterwards. Luckily, I've won most of them. I think, again, your view of it is a little bit of aggressive. It's a competition, and especially when you're the winner, it's quite easy to hug and buy the other one a beer.
Always easy to buy a beer when you're celebrating rather than commiserating. Greg Patino on the bottom here. Isaiah Burkhalter again looking for a choke here. Might not be in the best position to secure a choke from this spot, but still nevertheless just going to put a bit of a crossface or a crank on the head of Greg Patino and essentially show dominance here in the third round.
It ain't pretty, but it's working. But the one thing he's got to worry about is what happened in the first round where, look, Patino is able to get away from it and now be in control. Yep. Now he's got his back.
Patino had both legs locked, and now he's got
Flatten him out.
stretched out. So we'll see if Patino can secure a choke here. Burkhalter has showed effective defense on the ground so far, but Patino has now found himself in a very dominant position with 1.5 minutes to go.
The real difference here is also the fact that it is amateur. Right now, I'd be punching someone, but when you can't do that, you got to look for a submission. Patino's going to possibly end this round and end the fight with 2 out of the 3 rounds.
So Patino now looking for a sub on top, trying to isolate that arm, and now in a full mount, very high up though. You got to think Burkhalter might have a chance at slipping out here.
The issue is going to be the fact that he is a wrestler. Wrestlers sometimes don't really know what to do on their back. They're used to not being on their back. So this whole jiu-jitsu thing might be new for him.
Rolling out, Patino might have an arm.
This is deja vu in the first round.
Burkhalter holding on to that arm, keeping the defense there, but he's going to have to be very careful here as he goes into a north-south position. Now on top, and again, protecting that arm, grabbing his own hand, not letting it be pulled out, because the arm bar was there momentarily.
And this is showing the new raw talent between the two of them. Obviously, they're going back and forth. They've all had moments of brilliance, moments to show that they know what they're doing. It's just mat in, time in.
And no twisting leg locks here under amateur rules either, so those heels right in front of the face of Isaiah Burkhalter, not as appealing a target as they would be under the professional rules. Trying to pull himself free, short time in the round, knows that he's got short time. Burkhalter may be content to stay on top here. Landing some punches as both men land punches. This one's going to the judges, and I agree with your early assessment.
The winner by split decision, in the red corner, Isaiah Burkhalter. This Hard Knocks fight is a professional bout at a catch weight of 190 pounds.
Fighters as far as reach goes. Oh, a big shot from Purdue. Robinson goes down. Purdue is swarming, but it seems like Robinson's recovered. A quick recovery there, but he went down hard.
Definitely got hit hard, dropped him, but again, there's pluses and minuses of jumping into someone's guard. It allowed Chris to shake the cobwebs, hold him, and possibly be fine at this point.
So again, Robinson recovering quickly, but now Purdue inside control. Now he's rolled onto the back. Again, Rodney Wallace in his corner. Team trains at Team ROC. Wallace, a very adept ground fighter, and now Purdue's flattened him out, and he's raining punches down.
This is what happens when you give it your back and allow someone to flatten you out. The submission is also here, but again, Jeremy Purdue is able to hit him to soften him up and possibly get that submission, or just hit him. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Kiss.
Continuing to punch his opponent is Jeremy Purdue, alternating between flattening him out. Robinson will get up into a good position for a moment, and then now he's rolling in and he's got away, but nice scramble there from Purdue.
Right off the bat with that punch. I think Chris Robinson is not necessarily as tentative, or he's a little too tentative because, again, he knows that there's repercussions of the wrong action.
So now we've got a nice takedown here,
and
with 40 seconds to go, Robinson on the bottom, Purdue on top, and looking to try and secure a finish here.
And mount is not where Chris Robinson wants to be. He's going to have to buck and try and finish these 30 seconds without being stopped.
And Purdue again damaging Robinson from the top, landing punches, blood now coming from the nose of Chris Robinson as Purdue tries to secure a choke. He's trying to get it around. It looks like it's around the chin, maybe not around the neck, but just 10 seconds left here, and it's right here in front of us as we see the action again. You can see it's on the chin, but not on the neck of Chris Robinson as we've at the end of the first round. Jeremy Purdue ends in a good position, and as Robinson with a choke locked in, wasn't quite on the neck though, so a very effective ground game, and you can see him, a nice takedown there, just a bull rush through takedown.
Yep, it was a reshoot. Again, the original one didn't work, and that's the important thing. It's never the first takedown, it's the second, it's the third, it's the fourth, and it's the fifth that will eventually get someone down.
Now these are just get-to-know-you punches coming from Purdue up top. Not landing with any authority, but timing them out.
But again,
obviously that knee looking to disturb that, and it's going to land solidly because otherwise Robinson's going down.
Exactly, and Jeremy Purdue is doing a really good job at just shifting his weight, putting, again, the most important thing about the grappling is strong shapes. You see Purdue being a very successful, for lack of a...
Southpaw, and now switching back. This time Robinson defending the takedown by just throwing Purdue aside.
The interesting thing for Purdue is even though he has had success in the majority of this fight, I don't know the actual extent of his other losses. Did it come later in the round? Is it a gas situation? Does he make mistakes along the end? So that's what's gonna, if he can't put away Chris.
And again, both fighters exchanging now. Robinson starting to find his feet here a little bit, starting to land a couple punches.
He still needs to keep his hands a lot higher. Chris is not being, Jeremy Purdue rather, is not being, ooh. Thought that was coming right for us. Clearly didn't. Obviously there's a cage, but sometimes your brain doesn't know that.
And it's always been there. In the times we've seen Chris Robinson, the facial expression really doesn't change much.
It's true.
And it's almost like a poker face.
Or
you don't want to give the guy any information about whether or not it hurts, whether or not you're tired, if you just maintain the same expression the whole time.
You might be right, or it's the ultimate tribute to Fedor.
Again, just a couple little hammer fists on top from Jeremy Purdue as he tries to find his way open. A forearm shiver will hurt a little more than that.
Yes, it will. Chris really needs to get up. He, again, does not want a heavy individual on top of him, punching him. And this is, again, Purdue has arguably cleared away the first 2 rounds and could do the same thing here with a decision win. It's really up to Chris Robinson to get up or find a submission, obviously. But him touting himself as a striker, you want to think he needs to show some effort to get the heck up.
Rolling through, and now we've got what we see is an arm in, or an arm across the throat trying to secure it, but Chris Robinson holding that one arm in so it doesn't really allow him to slip the arm under and create that pressure, and Purdue forced to give up that position.
But again, he's on top, so it doesn't really matter if you lose the position because you're punching, you're going for the submission takes, you're adding many layers to your offense, and it doesn't really matter. Chris Robinson can't just sit there. The ref is eyeing it to potentially stop it. Although those damages aren't, like the strikes aren't causing tremendous damage, they are cumulative, and the ref might stop it.
Again, digging in, trying to find that rear naked choke. And now we see Robinson defending the choke 2-on-1, keeping the 2 hands up.
I think in many ways, I know I touched about it, I know Chris Robinson has that poker face possibly, but he's in a fight that he's probably, I'm not even gonna say probably, he's losing this fight. He needs to get the hell up. If he doesn't show urgency now, when will he?
2.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd and final round as Jeremy Purdue looks to finish off a solid fight here, a dominant fight here against Jeremy Robinson. And it's been all Purdue the whole fight pretty much. Robinson's had a couple strikes, got through, but nothing with any real damage. And now a body triangle from the back, which means that Robinson's not going anywhere.
No, he's playing backpack right now. This is exactly where Chris Robinson does not want to be. And unfortunately, his lack of almost interest to do something might cost him the fight here. And not in a finish in any way, shape, or form. This might be the remainder of the fight.
Well, it could be a dispirit too.
Yep.
You've come out, you're down 2 rounds, the guy's on your back, you're in a body triangle. I mean, at the gym, this is the end of the fight. And let's not forget that this is only his 2nd fight as a pro.
110%. And again, even though it's a professional, and again, it doesn't look like he's gonna get knocked out. There's still a minute 20 left in the round, but it's not like the opening round. And I think that's what really was the whole deciding aspect. Chris never got his opportunity to do Chris Robinson.
cranking on the neck, trying to find that submission. Now heel kicks into the thigh.
That's just mean.
I don't care who you are. That's not a pleasant thing to be in. Not a good position to be in either. As now, again, just trying to find that choke, trying to get the finish. And you know at this point for Jeremy Perdue, that's what it's about.
Yep.
He knows he's got a good position. He knows he's not going to let Chris Robinson go. He wants to finish for the sake of having the finish.
Yep.
Getting the win isn't enough for him at this point. If it was, he'd just kind of be lazily throwing punches the rest of the way. But he's not. He's trying to secure that choke. He's trying to finish the fight, and he's trying to get the win via submission.
That's exactly right. He wants to get back on a winning streak, and a finish here will get him in a whole new start to 2017.
You can see Chris Robinson now with the referee watching very closely on top as the mouth guard now comes out of the mouth of Chris Robinson, and it's 10 seconds left in the fight, and Jeremy Perdue full marks for what will be a decision victory here. No question in my mind that that's how that one's going to shake out. What a performance.
The winner by unanimous decision in the blue corner, Jeremy